Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. We have a decent update for Escape from Tarkov for you today. It not only covers the patch 16.6 patch notes we just got, but a few other tidbits of info that happened in the last week. That's just so you guys are all caught up. We'll quickly cover the news, then get right into the patch notes. So first up, they teased a new arena map called Iceberg. We got 6 pictures of this. Flipping through them, it just looks like a really nice kind of resort that we're going to have on arena. It's kind of sad to see that this won't be in regular Tarkov, or at least I don't think it ever will be. Nice looking map. If you're into arena, that will be a new thing for you to play. If you did watch the Arena Cup series, they did play on this map and they showcased it a little bit. No word that I've heard so far of when we're going to be able to play it, but hopefully not too far off. Also, last week, the Labyrinth event officially ended. Even though they gave us a couple extra days to do it, they extended it. It's done now. And as they said, the loot has been nerfed. There's still just as much loot on the map, but the quality is way down. So instead of finding tons of streamer items and high-end electronics, you're finding tools and barter items and stuff like that. Tagilla's spawn rate was also lowered to 40%, I believe. And the keys, the actual access cards to get in, you can't buy them anymore. There's only a barter. So that is the more difficult side that they explained of getting in. Now with this, BSG also gave us some interesting stats of the event. Looking through this real quick, they showed us the achievement ratio. So 35% of people that got the achievements got Dungeon Master, and 65% got the Labyrinth. So Dungeon Master was the more difficult one that you got through doing Lightkeeper. On top of that, it said 669,669 people accepted the task Shady Contractor, which is going to be pretty much the intro to getting into Labyrinth. Now, aside from the number looking funny and being really coincidental, putting that aside, I believe this includes both PvE and PvP players. So both sides of that. So that's quite a few people. Figure, 670,000 people, different accounts. There's going to be some people that did more than one account, but 670,000 accounts tried to do the Labyrinth between PvE and PvP. Now, with that, we had 5,437,905 total raids into the Labyrinth. Now, what I don't know is this how many players went into the Labyrinth, or is this how many individual Labyrinth raid instances were created? I lean towards the latter, that there was actually, 5.5 million instances created, just because just the way the numbers work out. The average raid time in the Labyrinth was 14 minutes. So figure, since the map was 30 minutes long, most people didn't, the average wasn't even half of the duration of the map. So many people died right away or really quickly. And only 2.4 million people roughly survived and extracted from the Labyrinth altogether. So that puts 2.981 million, almost 3 million people died in the Labyrinth. And 198,000 died to the traps. I'm guessing that means the doors, the stuff at each door, your little puzzle rooms, versus maybe necessarily the traps out in the middle of the Labyrinth itself. The spike pits, the little barbed wire with poison, or the tripwires. But I could be wrong about that. But I think that's more just the trap doors. Now, the PMC death ratio is 60% USEC, 40% bear. Doesn't stand out very far. We usually see between 30 and 40% for every stat that ever breaks down between USEC and bear. It's usually between 30 and 40%. So that doesn't look all that weird. Now over to the next page. These are ones that I was really looking forward to and I actually asked for. So I'm glad we got them. Shadow of Tagilla was killed 1.2 million times, and almost 2.1 million people died to Shadow of Tagilla. So Shadow of Tagilla had a positive KD in the Labyrinth, which I don't know how many players actually had that, but Shadow of Tagilla did. With that, we had 340,000 players die to Shadow of Tagilla, or I'm sorry, Vengeful Killa. And then another 735,000 died to the Labyrinth guards, which those guys were actually pretty tough. Those were quite a few raids where those guys, I think I died to them more than I died to Shadow of Tagilla, just because if they swarmed you and you ran out of ammo, you were screwed. Vengeful Killa was killed 830,000 times, and there were nearly 13 million Labyrinth guard kills, about 12.9 million. So that's quite a few. Now, as far as unique figurines extracted, there was 1.47 million Labyrinth research notes. The Pointy Guy figurine got 50,000. The Xeno Alien figurine was 76,000. Count Bloodsucker was 28,000. Petty Crooker was 66,000, and Nailhead was 65,000. Those figurines were actually pretty hard to find. I don't know if they were actually in every raid or not. I'm guessing not. I never did find the Pointy Head. I got a couple of each of the others, but I never did manage to get the Pointy Guy figurine, which sucked because there was some cool stuff you could do in the Cultist Circle to get keys and to Gilla's helmet. You couldn't wear it, but you could. It was like a showpiece you could put in your hideout. Now, with that out of the way, quick look at the roadmap, just because we had it, and I want to make a point here. 2 points that kind of caught me off guard. This is patch 16.6. It's going right now. The servers are shut down. We have patch notes, but the roadmap said May 2025. So yeah, they were early. I can't remember them ever being early on a patch before, so that's cool. We got an early patch. And they hit every single point in here. They didn't skip over anything. They didn't leave anything out. In fact, there's a couple extra things. Correction, they did leave one thing out, at least in the patch notes, and that is the in-game event, which we know from the Tarkov TV, which is going to be the RPG event. But we'll get into the patch notes, and we'll talk about that a little bit more in depth. Okay, so here are the patch notes. Let's zoom in nice and big for the folks watching on their cell phones, and get right into it. Optimize the performance of various areas on Lighthouse. Have to see what that means. Lighthouse hasn't been one of the worst running maps, but I know some people still struggle with it. So having that optimized hopefully makes it run better for everybody. Next up is return some of the previously deleted location detailing on customs. Hopefully this means that it goes with optimization. They didn't just bring it back and optimize it, and customs is going to run like shit again. So what this was, some of the offices, some of the areas, the detail, the little radios, just the environmental stuff that makes the map feel real and more immersive. That stuff kind of got pulled out because customs ran like shit at the start of the wipe. For people that don't remember that, they pulled that stuff out to make the map run better. Hopefully they've figured out how to optimize that and everything is better again. Now, as far as quality of life, a lot of this stuff comes from the Tarkov community website, so make sure you check that out if you're interested. BSG is definitely listening and including tons of stuff from that, so it's kind of cool. Let's see, added the ability to purchase all required items when selecting a crafting recipe. The hideout, we saw this in Tarkov TV. It's going to be a little button right next to your crafts. You click it and it should buy all the items you need from the craft from the flea market. Good stuff. Added the highlight of expiring items insurance screen. So this is your insurance screen when you go to hit claim all. Anything that's going to expire soon will be highlighted with a little clock on there. Great quality of life change. Added the automatic failed task restart after a raid. So this is stuff like Psycho Sniper and Tarkov Shooter 8 and some others. If you die, you have to restart on the guide, things like that. This will auto restart that for you, which is good stuff. Change the UI interaction when transitioning between locations. Now you need to hold the key for a few seconds to activate the transition. So this is good because there's a couple of maps where the extracts and the transition extract are kind of next to each other or close, and you'd accidentally hit F running through there because something just pop up on your screen. Now you actually have to hold it to do the transition, which should alleviate any of the mistaken transits that happen out there. Sounds of completed or failed tasks will be dimmed if the player earns an achievement at the same time. Small deal, didn't think that was too much myself. Added new posters for the hideout, interested to see what those will be. Added a new craft recipe for the water collector. So that's interesting. We got new crafts at the water collector. I think it's going to be something like filling water bottles maybe. So maybe it'll take a water bottle and give you a 100 out of 100 water bottle. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see what it gives you, but it'll be nice to see the water collector zone. Hopefully like level 2, maybe even level 1, have some crafts in there so that it's useful besides just passive stats before level 3, module level 3 for that. Added a new task line for high level players. Not sure what this is. Now, this could be the RPG thing. I don't think it is. This allows to level various skills. Completing the task line will unlock an additional special weekly task. So I'm guessing this will be a way to level tasks at higher levels, and maybe you can pick it, or maybe it's just random and it'll give you skill points for armor or, immunity, some of the ones that you just never level up. Interested to see what this is going to be. This could be the RPG task line, but I don't think it is. It was mentioned in Tarkov TV that the RPG was going to be an event, and we have an event mentioned in the roadmap, and there is no mention of that anywhere in here. So my guess is either they don't want to spoil the event and the event's going to spool up in the morning when the servers come back on, or maybe they'll wait a couple of days and surprise us a couple of days in the week, maybe towards the end of the week. Hard to say, but there is no event for the RPG mentioned here. But Nikita did promise it to us that it would be with this patch. So I'm expecting it. We just don't know when it's going to be. Now, as far as AI, some huge great changes here for the AI. Now all bots will play the animation of reaching and pulling the pin when attempting to throw a grenade. So no more instant grenades from bots. This is awesome. We can't throw instant grenades, so bots shouldn't be able to throw instant grenades. I'm going to be interested to see what this looks like, if it's buggy, if it's weird, especially at a distance. So hopefully we get that figured out and nothing weird happens with it, which if you play Tarkov, you know that's probably, there's always something weird. Readjust the aiming mechanics of AI PMCs, raiders, rogues, and regular bots to reduce the frequency of headshots in the following situations. Now, keep in notice, they did not say bosses in here, or guards. So probably doesn't apply to them. We shall see. When firing first shots at long ranges over 100 meters for all bots except Zerachi. So that caveat there, maybe that's for everything except Zerachi. This is going to deal with headshots. So you shouldn't get headshot right away. Like, it's hard coded that they can't headshot you, which I think is a good thing. How that plays out, they'll just take time to tell. When firing while moving, this is one of my biggest, I hate this. It's like SKS scavs and VPO scavs. They'll be like sidestepping, not even ADSing, but they'll be hip firing, walking, shooting at you, and just beaming the hell out of you while they're moving. And I am hopeful that this isn't the case anymore and that they don't do that. So we'll have to wait and see for that one as well. Immediately after leaving the sprint mode, so they get an accuracy debuff when doing power slides and when changing stances. So if anybody who got down to the Labyrinth know that the power sliding kill a wannabe guards were a nightmare, especially when they got that instant headshot on you. So hopefully the power slide stuff makes them less accurate. Whether this is going to apply to Killa and some of Gluhar's guards. Gluhar's guards do this too. We'll just have to wait and see if that applies to them or not. And then for regular bots in any condition, basically I think this means that bots in general will be less likely to headshot you, period. Great change in my opinion. Scavs shouldn't be these crazy aimbody guys that just kill you because they're drunk scavengers in a wasteland that aren't trained. Anyways, at very close ranges, the AI accuracy remains the same. When firing at other body parts, the AI accuracy remains the same. So it's basically saying they didn't screw with the accuracy anywhere other than the headshots. Improve the mechanics of peaceful behavior of regular bots. So this is when they're not aggroed. You think they're just kind of patrolling, they're walking around doing their thing. Now they will patrol the areas required for tasks longer and leave to roam only after some time. This change applies to the following tasks in their objective areas: safe corridor and pest control on reserve, long road on lighthouse along with overpopulation on lighthouse, provocation on interchange, no swiping on shoreline, preemptive strike on shoreline, customs, and woods, rite of passage on customs. The rite of passage is the big one, bothers a lot of people. It's the old gas and new gas. So keep this in mind. There's going to be a lot more scavs in certain areas again. So if you're hunting for scavs, instead of them kind of being randomly spread all over the map, they should be more located, at least when they first spawn. Again, just have to wait and see how it plays out. Now we're into the fixes. Fix the double damage from bots in certain cases. The double damage stuff from AI is miserable. I don't see them mention anything about fixing the double damage bug with thorax shots, which we know are still there. I've died to them. Liston's died to them. I've seen people in chat have mentioned dying to bolt action guns with one shot to the thorax with ammo that can't one shot you. I don't know if this fixes that, but we'll see. Fix the logic of filling money stacks when receiving money for completed tasks or system messages. It's just stacking money that's kind of annoying. Fix several issues related to sound portals not working properly on different locations, e.g. sound muffling inside a room when the door is open. Again, this is just the specific location audio kind of stuff that they do. It's this combination of, I think, occlusion zones with their fancy audio ray tracing nonsense the Oculus audio, whatever it's called now. We just have to see. It's still going to be buggy sound in places. It's going to be just to report it here and say it sucks so they can go look at it. Fix the calculation of armor durability required for certain tasks. Fix the cause of Labyrinth access keycards not disappearing after entering the Labyrinth in PvE mode. So no more free Labyrinth runs on PvE. Fix the client freeze after a raid when using MIP streaming in certain cases. So there were some people that were freezing. Some people knew it was MIP streaming. Some people never tracked it down to that. So if you were freezing before, hopefully this fixes your problem and you're not doing it anymore. Fix the display of prestige in the overall tab while in raid. Fix the cause of accelerated player footstep sounds in the line of sight and out of line of sight in certain cases. So I noticed this with guys I was playing with. If I didn't have line of sight on them, sometimes their footsteps just sounded like really fast, really beady little footsteps versus their normal pace. As soon as you saw them, it quit. It was really interesting. Fix the missing sounds of helmet and armor hits in third person while indoors. So what this means in third person is if you're sitting next to your buddy and your buddy takes a headshot, you didn't hear the proper sound a lot of the time. So hopefully this fixes that. Fix the case of a consumable item freezing when attempting to use them if the item was previously used by another player. So I don't want to get into the details of this. I ran into it twice, I think this is what it was. But basically it's just a desync kind of thing with some items in the game that were there that weren't there, or they showed up for you and they weren't really there. Hopefully it's fixed. Fixed an error in the display of large amounts of money and task objectives, which resulted in an inability to transfer money to the task. Fix the display of potential wear when repairing if the player has changed the initial value of repair points. Fix the player rubber banding when moving after looting in certain cases. Fix the incorrect display of task condition percentages in certain cases. I didn't notice this. I don't know if any of you guys did. I don't pay much attention to the percentages though, so it didn't matter that much, but it's fixed. Fix the incorrect display of items in the selling screen if the player switched to the selling screen before loading the trader's inventory. So I think this is the little bug where you'd click on things and the sell screen wasn't there, and then you'd have to unclick an item or click back and forth and redo it all again to get things to sell. Hopefully this is that and it's fixed. I think this is the second time they've tried to fix it though. Fix some missing visual effects when using X2 and X4 resampling and graphics settings. Fix the cause of error 228 when trying to turn in ammo for a daily task when one round from a stack was in a weapon magazine. God, there's some weird fringe shit that happens in this that bugs this game out. Fix the incorrect UI operation when the player placed an item in the stash when the PMC dog tag selector was open. Then fix the incorrect brightness of certain light sources on all location. Fix the placement of the LSHZ 2DTM helmet flashlight slot. Fix the geometry in certain areas on Lighthouse, the lab, and shoreline, which could lead to incorrect PMC behavior, teleports, clipping into textures, and uncontrolled movement. So there's lots of stuff here. This is people kind of getting stuck in between walls, jumping up on top of tables and being inside ceilings, just weird stuff. Hopefully it's all fixed because some of it was kind of exploity. Some of it you could actually get inside of things and shoot people outside of it. So hopefully this stuff is addressed and it's not there anymore. Fix the incorrect weight of the Wartech TV 115 plate carrier. Fix the ability to ensure ammo packs. So there was a bug, interesting bug if you didn't know. You could bring, let's say, a pack of BS, 120 rounds of BS ammo in. Insure it, bring it into raid, unpack that ammo, put that ammo in your secure container, and then that BS ammo would come back to you insurance as a case, even though you unpacked it. So yeah. Exploit, good thing they fixed it. We'll see how that impacts everything going forward. Fixed an issue where bots would spin in place while looting. Thank you. I hated this. You tried to shoot a bot and they're spinning. You're trying to head shoot them and you can't. You're trying to guess. It's like a carnival game. Could be kind of fun. I'm glad it's over with. Fixed an issue where the bot would not say a voice line before attacking PMCs when the bot was not clearly visible. This is just a heads up they give you. They yell at you if they see you, but you don't see them, kind of deal. Minor improvements to bot behavior, just general stuff. Who knows? This could be a big deal. Like this could be really impactful because they fixed something that it impacts us a lot, but they just said minor improvements to bot behavior. Who knows? Fix the missing third mannequin at the gear rack in certain cases. I know there's a lot of you guys that have your gear rack upgraded and never got your third mannequin. So hopefully when you log on in the morning, you will have it. Okay, that's everything. That's all of it. A little bit of read through the patch notes this time. I like to give more detail. There wasn't a lot to give here. It was just giving you guys what we could see. Again, all the links will be down in the description for anything you want to see. If I missed something, don't forget to let me know in the comments. Comment and let me know what you like about the patch notes or what you don't like. Are you excited for the RPG? I know I am. I only hope and pray that it has backblast, so the first time Stenkrad tries to use it in D2, he kills himself with it. It's the only thing I ask. All I want out of it. But we'll wrap her up there. Otherwise, hope you guys have a good night. Hope we get to enjoy the patch tomorrow. Hope it's a good time. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Thanks for watching. I wish you guys the best of luck in your raids, and we'll see you in Tarkov.